Hello and welcome to the Stars and Pars podcast. This is the show where golf betting and I guess for this episode, sports betting meets astrology. This is a unique episode. I am not typically one to do episodes on team sports per se. If you've listened to the podcast, especially early on, you've heard the spiel about why I chose golf mainly to focus on. Since golf is an individual sport and there's no one playing defense on them except other than the course and elements like weather and the crowd, I guess. Golf is just a player and their golf ball against the course, and it's a very emotional, mental, physical game that requires heavy individual reliance and self motivation and endurance, and that's where I think astrology really makes the strongest impact in a sport like golf, at least. But when it comes to other sports, basketball, football, baseball, I've definitely dabbled with astrology and making picks and whatnot. Prize picks, lineups, and obviously there's some success here and there. But at the end of the day, there's so many more variables when it comes to like team sports in astrology. That it prevents, I feel like, the true outcomes of what should happen from happening. But you go throughout all of sports history. I think about like Kobe Bryant's 81 point game back in the day. I looked up his signs compared to where the signs in the sky were, and he had massive career influence that day, massive career signs going on. I think he was a Taurus moon. I think he was a Virgo sun Taurus moon on the top of my head, and he had his 81 point game during Aquarius season, which is the career sector for Taurus. And so this is like something I talk about all the time on the show. I really target career heavy influence, at least from an astrological point of view. So that being said, I had a YouTube commentator ask if I could do a Super Bowl episode. I don't have. Oh shoot! Where is the comment? Who was it? Was it KG1028 on YouTube? Asked if I could do some Super Bowl predictions. So funny you'd ask that. I was considering doing it already, but when I saw that comment, I was like, all right, now I have to do it. So I appreciate you, KG. Thank you so much for the encouragement. So here we are. We're doing a 2026 Super Bowl prediction episode. So this is different. Bear with me here. I'm gonna try to make this quick because I don't want to spend too much time on this, and it's also really hard to, again, make picks based on the teams because, for instance, one guy on a receiver like JSN who has massive career influences coming in on Sunday. It's like, oh, in theory he should have a great game, right? And I think he will, but like, you got to consider all the other defensive players on the Patriots, especially who's going to be guarding him. And like, what if they have career influences themselves, and in that matchup, who wins? And it's the same thing with like baseball. Like, if you take a batter who has a big career influence that day, but they're going up against a pitcher who also has like a massive career, placement in the sky the same day, who wins the matchup, right? I mean, and obviously pitchers have the advantage in baseball, so you go the pitcher. So I'm a little over the place, but the point is like team sports are so much harder to predict because you could have guys on both sides who have massive career influences that same day. So who do you pick? That blah blah blah. That being said, also another thing to consider is the game script itself. Like for instance, basketball. Like I make prize picks lineups for basketball, and when a team is blowing out another team by the end of the third quarter, and like your star guy, he's like a few points, a few PRA away from hitting your over goal. Well, if that team is losing, they're not going to play the fourth quarter because the game script is like, why? The coach, it's an 82 game season. Why would they go out and play their star player for a couple more minutes in the fourth if they're down 30 points? So that's the other thing when it comes to like team sports and betting with astrology. There's just so many variables that you can't really predict. So that's why I go back to golf every single time. And If you're watching and you listen to this week's episode, I got it on right here. We got Hideki, who surged this morning. He's in the lead right now. We have Goddard up. We have Akshay Bhatia. We have John Perry, who's like at 8 under as of, I think, the end of his round right now. We're looking great in this week's PGA. We're also really looking good on Live. We have Taylor Gooch and John Rahm up there near the top of the leaderboard going into day 4 tomorrow. And on the DP World Tour, we have Joachim Lagergren, one behind Patty Reed going into the weekend, okay? I think Henny Duplessis is doing really well as well. And let's see here. Lagergren, we have Matt Wallace, who's 3 back, and Henny Duplessis is 5 back. And then, like I said, Lagergren, who we took on the show, he's 1 back. So we're looking really good. The Corn Ferry is not looking good. Don't worry about that. But I feel like Hideki got her up, John Perry, Akshay Bhatia. Even Mac McNeely's only 4 back right now, who we also took. And yeah, obviously the second round for a lot of the afternoon guys is just getting going. So still a lot of golf to cover, or a lot of golf to play. So we're not worrying about that right now. We're talking about Super Bowl 2026 predictions. So let's get into it. So that being said, I don't really know how to approach this. This is different than golf betting, obviously. So I wrote down some picks. I wrote down some things I like, and I'm just going to go through them, and we're going to get through this quickly, okay? So Super Bowl Sunday, it's going to be Aquarius, Sun, Venus, and Mars still. Mercury's going to be into Pisces now, as of this afternoon. And then the moon's going to be in Scorpio on Sunday. And Cancer is still in Jupiter. So it's very water, air heavy. That's pretty much the element, the theme of the day. And it really benefits one team more than the other based on what I've seen. I didn't do a deep dive into like every single player, every single defensive player. I did do a deep dive on a handful of guys who I think will be heavily involved in, the game. So that being said, guys that jumped off immediately in their birth charts, I'll name a few. Sam Darnold should have a really good game. JSN should have a stellar game. I'll get to it in a second. Ramondre Stevenson, the Pats running back, he should have a pretty solid game. Rashid Shaheed should have a really good game. Stephon Diggs should also have a really good game. Drake May will have a good game, but he's gonna have some obstacles to overcome, if you ask me. And then on the defensive side, I think Marcus Jones, Pat's cornerback, should play pretty well. He'll probably be on JSN. Don't quote me on that. I really don't follow these teams. That I'm a Chargers fan. God bless me that it's rough being a Chargers fan. So I really don't have a dog in the fight in this game. I'm personally rooting for the Seahawks because, like most of America, I'm anti-Patriots. I just, they've won enough in their lifetime, and we don't need to see them get another one. But that being said, I think Marcus Jones, he's got a really good chart. I'll read it off in a second. And then Nick Emmanwori, the Seahawks safety, he's got a solid chart. Ernest Jones, who's also, I believe, on the Seahawks defensive guy, has a great chart. DeMarcus Lawrence, Seahawks linebacker, and Devon Witherspoon, Seahawks cornerback, all have really good charts. So that being said, I think the Seahawks are going to win. We'll get to that in a second. But when it comes to JSN, this is what I want to talk about. Obviously, he's the best receiver. He won, I think, just won NFL Offensive Player of the Year for good reason. But he's an Aquarius, Sun, and Mercury, Pisces, Moon, Midheaven, Venus, Gemini rising, Aries, Mars, Cancer, Jupiter. This is like the perfect chart for Sunday. Aquarius will have their career sector lit up on Sunday under the Scorpio moon. Scorpio is also water, so it lights up all the other water charts. And he's got a Pisces, Moon, Midheaven, and Venus, which is water. He has got a perfect chart, if you ask me. He's a Gemini rising. Gemini also receives a career boost from Mercury and Pisces because Pisces is the career sector for Gemini. I think JSN was probably gonna be the MVP after they win it. That's my prediction. His Mars is Aries as well. Aries and Scorpio are both ruled by Mars. Though they're different elements like fire and water, they're still ruled by the same planet. So I feel like when Scorpio is in the sky, Aries does receive like a boost because they're ruled by the same planet. So I don't know how to explain that clearly in like astrological terms, but just know it's a good look, okay? Um, so yeah, I just wanted to say that. And then Sam Darnold is a Gemini Sun, Moon, and Midheaven. I just said Geminis get a career boost from the Pisces, um, and Mercury, and also Gemini's an air sign, and we got Aquarius, Sun, Venus, and Mars still. That's all air. It's gonna vibe perfectly. He's a Virgo rising in Mars, which Virgo is great with Scorpio. It's two signs over, so it's a good combination. He should be really clear headed. His Mercury is Taurus. Taurus receives a career boost all month long from Aquarius. So he's gonna be locked in. And here's where I really like him. His Venus is Cancer. Cancer's water. And Cancer and Scorpio go like two peas in a pod. They're like just great combination. And then his Jupiter is Aquarius, which Jupiter is a little bit of career, luck, opportunity kind of influence on one's life, and it's in Aquarius when we're in Aquarius season, and the moon will be in Scorpio, which is the career sector for Aquarius. I can't see the Seahawks losing. I'm just going through this chart. I just can't. I mean, like I said, Drake May should have a good game, but I don't think he's going to. He's a Virgo Sun and Mars. He's a Gemini Moon, Scorpio rising, Leo midheaven, and Jupiter. That's where I get lost. Leo's and Scorpio, like Leo under Scorpio energy, does not go great. But he is a Scorpio rising. So, like I said, he should have a good game, but he's not going to have a stellar game. Like, I think he's going to throw at least a pick or two. And then his Mercury and Venus is Libra, so that's a good transit for Sunday. Libra goes fine with Aquarius and Scorpio. All over the place. I don't think Kenneth Walker III is going to have a great game, personally. He's a Libra sun. That's a good transit, but he's a Leo moon. So I just talked about the Leo Scorpio thing. I don't think it's going to be a good combination. He's also a Sagittarius rising in Venus. Scorpio is Sagittarius's 12th house, which is kind of like a sleepy reflective house. I don't love it. His Virgo midheaven and Mars should be okay. And then his Scorpio Mercury is good. And his Gemini and Jupiter is okay. But again, I just think the Leo Sag stuff in Kenneth Walker's chart isn't great. Not saying he's going to have a bad game, but I just don't think he's going to have a great game. That's all. And then I like Ramondre Stevenson, Pisces Sun, Mercury, Midheaven, Mars, and Jupiter. Ton of water in Ramondre Stevenson's chart. That's really good look. Capricorn's Moon and Venus, Gemini rising. I think Stevenson will probably, him and one other guy will be the two main offensive threats for the Patriots. I'll talk about the other guy, Stephon Diggs. Great chart. Sagittarius, Sun, and Mars, which it's not great, but it gets better. Gemini Moon, that's really good. Aquarius rising, that's stellar. Scorpio midheaven, Mercury, and Venus, and Jupiter. So there it is. The Scorpio moon is going to light up most of Stephon Diggs' career-related sense in his chart. He will be the top receiver for the Patriots. He'll probably score. He'll probably get his over props. That's what I'm looking at. And then Rashid Shaheed. Love this chart. Capricorn Sun midheaven is great with everything. And then Aquarius Moon, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. Aries rising, Sagittarius Mercury. Those two I'm a little worried about, but all the Aquarius in his chart. And he's had a great postseason. Like, I know he had that 95-yard kickoff return last game. I wouldn't be surprised if he has another, personally speaking. He's just got so much Aquarius in that chart that it's looking really good. Okay. And then Marcus Jones, I mentioned, Pat's cornerback. Libra, Sun, Venus, and Midheaven. That's really good. Scorpio, Moon, and Mercury. It's also really good. Cap rising, Virgo, Mars, Pisces, Jupiter. If he's on JSN, which I'm assuming he will be, that's going to be a really good matchup. I don't know, man. JSN should have the edge, but this is the issue. I can't predict who's going to play better. And then I mentioned Nick Imanwari. He's the Seahawks safety. He's an Aquarius Sun. There's the career sign we're looking for. Cancer Moon, more water to go with the Scorpio Moon. Gemini Rising's perfect. Capricorn Mercury. Pisces Midheaven and Venus. That's perfect. Taurus Mars. It's career month all along for his Mars. Virgo Jupiter. He's going to have a game, ladies and gentlemen. I also like Ernest Jones. Scorpio Sun and Mercury. Taurus Moon. Libra Venus. Capricorn Mars. Not a bad transit in there. And then DeMarcus Lawrence, the linebacker for the Seahawks, Taurus Sun, career month all along. Pisces, Moon, and Mars, water. Cancer rising, more water. Aries, midheaven, Mercury, and Venus goes great with Scorpio. Virgo, Jupiter. They're going to be locked in, you guys. And then Devon Witherspoon, Seahawks cornerback. Sagittarius, Sun, Mercury, and midheaven. I don't love that, but I love his Gemini, Moon, and Jupiter. Pisces rising, Aquarius, Venus. That's where it is. And a Libra, Mars. You can't go wrong there. So, all that being said, I'm going to get into like some actual picks now and going to get out of here, okay? So, TD scorers, touchdown scorers, JSN minus 110. I think that's a lock, personally. And I think 2 touchdowns at plus 500 is a good bet, in my opinion. So, I like JSN to score at least 1, and I'm going to put a little bit for him to score 2. Stephon Diggs to get a touchdown. I think it's going to happen with his midheaven and Scorpio. I think that's going to happen, plus 270. I also wrote down Seahawks defense at plus 400 because I feel like there's going to be a pick 6 against Drake May. So watch out for that. And then I also like Ramondre Stevenson, who I talked about, to score a touchdown, plus 140. I think that's a safer play than the Stephon Diggs one, because I don't know how Drake May is gonna really come out and play. I think he'll score though. I think they'll at least get 1 receiving and 1 rushing touchdown. But if I had to pick one, I'd say Ramondre Stevenson's probably the safe pick for the Patriots getting a touchdown. And then for fun, I wrote down Rashid Shaheed at plus 350. He's just got too much Aquarius in his chart to not do something big. It could be another kickoff return. I wrote that down later on. Watch out for Rashid Shaheed to get a touchdown. And then also another fun one, Hunter Henry at plus 245, who I have not talked about. He's a Sagittarius, Sun, Mercury, and midheaven, which I don't love, but he's an Aquarius moon. That's one of the signs we're targeting. Pisces rising, Scorpio, Venus, and Jupiter. That's where I really like him. And then his Mars is Leo. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. So I could see Hunter Henry potentially getting one. But again, it just depends on Drake May. So we'll see. And then I did a little TD parlay. JSN, Shaheed, Diggs, and Stevenson, plus 7,500. Risky. The Shaheed was the risky part. You could probably do JSN 2 touchdowns, Diggs and Stevenson. That's probably something similar. But that's kind of what I just wrote down, okay? And then there was like some fun prop bets in there. It's like JSN or Shaheed to score combined 2+ touchdowns. So, I mean, JSN could cover that himself, or if they both get 1, the bet would hit, or if Shaheed gets 2. Plus 425. I like it. Will there be a kickoff return TD? This is where I'm going to say yes, plus 2,200, because if it's going to happen, it's going to be Shaheed. So, obviously, be smart with your units. Don't go crazy on those ones, but I like that personally. Okay, now let's get into like some prop stuff here. I'm going to go Sam Darnold, 250 plus pass yards, plus 138. I just think he's going to have a stellar game, and I think JSN is going to be killing it, okay? I'm also going to go Sam Darnold, 3 pass touchdowns or more, plus 279. Like I said, I don't think Kenneth Walker is going to have a great game. He could still probably score. This is the tough part, guys, about team sports. There's so many variables, but I think Darnold, 3 pass touchdowns, I could see it happening, plus 279. Also, Sam Darnold pass attempts, at least 30 or more, minus 112. Like I said, I don't think the run game is going to be working for them. I think he's going to have to throw the ball to JSN a lot, okay? I also wrote down Drake May to throw an interception, minus 136. Because of his Leo, midheaven, that's where I feel like there will be some confusion on the field, and I think the defensive Seahawks guys I mentioned, like they're going to get an interception. That's at least 1. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. Sam Darnold over 20.5 completions, minus 102. Like I said, I think it's going to be a pass-heavy game for the Seahawks because I don't know if Kenneth Walker is going to get it going. So they're going to have to rely on passing a lot. JSN, at least 100 plus receiving yards, plus 110. I think he's going to get over 100 personally. So that's why I like that bet. And then JSN and Stephon Diggs combined receiving yards, 150 plus 101. I think that's the lock of the game, personally speaking. I think Diggs will be the receiving leader for the Pats. Obviously, is JSN as well. So they both have to combine for 150 at plus 101. It's pretty even money. It's. I think it's going to happen. Stephon Diggs over 45.5 receiving yards, minus 112. I could see that definitely happening. And then Rashid Shaheed over 22.5 receiving yards, minus 115. Only has to get 23. Could happen in one play. I think it's going to happen. Watch out for that. Ramondre Stevenson over 50.5 rush yards, minus 111. I think that's going to be a lock as well because he's going to have a good look on Sunday. Kenneth Walker under 71.5 rush yards, minus 112. Like I said, the Leo in his chart worries me. I don't think he gets more. I think he gets under 71.5 rush yards. He might have more receiving yards. You never know. That's the thing. And then I got some defensive guys here. Ernest Jones, 6+ tackles. It's a little risky, plus 131. But I think he's going to be all over the place. Also, Nick Emanwari, 5+ tackles, plus 129. And then I got the Pats kicker, Andres Borregales, over 1.5 field goals made, minus 121. He has like Scorpio and Capricorn in his chart. And again, I just don't know how the Pats offense is going to be able to score as much as they want against that Seahawks defense. So I think their kicker, Borregales, over 1.5 field goals made is pretty safe. Sam Darnold, more pass yards over May, minus 131. I think that's a lock too. But again, you never know. Especially if the Pats are losing and they have to pass more, that could get risky. But we'll see. Ramondre Stevenson, more rush yards than Kenneth Walker, plus 170. That's a lock, in my opinion. Like, I really think Stevenson has more rush yards than Kenneth Walker. Most rush yards in the game, Ramondre Stevenson, plus 200. I think that's pretty safe, too. Most passed... Oh, so this is like a combination. The most pass yards, receiving yards, and rush yards in the game. I'm going Sam Darnold, JSN, and Ramondre Stevenson, plus 750. So Darnold, most pass yards in the game, JSN, most receiving yards, and Stevenson, most rush yards, plus 750. I think that's a really good look, too. Okay, lastly, who's my MVP? I'm going to go JSN. Because obviously Darnold will probably be the next best. He's actually lower odds than JSN. But I think if JSN scores at least 1 or 2 touchdowns and gets over 100 yards, he should have a good chance to win MVP if they win the game, obviously. So, yeah. And then, like, the long shot MVP, because I think the Seahawks will win, Rashid Shaheed at plus 3,000. That would means he needs to score at least 1 or 2 touchdowns with, like, a ton of receiving yards, or gets, like, another kickoff return touchdown. But, again, that's a long shot. Put a baby unit on that. I think JSN's the lock, personally speaking. And then I did a little parlay where I took a lot of our picks I just mentioned and, like, took off a little bit just to, like, you know, make sure it's a little safer. So I'm going to go Sam Darnold, at least 231 pass yards. Drake May, 200 pass yards. JSN, 90 receiving yards. Stephon Diggs, 40 receiving yards. Rashid Shaheed, 23 receiving yards. Hunter Henry, 25 receiving yards. Ramondre Stevenson's 50 rush yards. Ernest Jones, 8 tackles/assists. And Nick Emanwari, 5 tackles/assists. That all comes out to plus 2,500 if you put that together. I like it a lot. We shall see, though. All right? And lastly, like game line wise, I think the Seahawks cover the spread. It's 4.5, minus 4.5 at minus 115. I think they win by at least a touchdown. So if you want to increase that to 6.5, be my guest. I want to say it's going to go under 45.5, which with all the offensive props I just mentioned, it gets a little hairy there, I guess. But I want to say under 45.5, minus 110. And I think the Seahawks will score at least 25.5 points, minus 110. So I think the Seahawks are going to win by more than a touchdown. That's just me personally seeing that. Aquarius and Scorpio, when they're in the sky together, it influences heavier on defense, I would say, which is why I think the under will hit. But man, I don't know. Now I'm kind of in a bind about that. Anyway, if there's nothing else you come away from this episode, other than let it be this, if nothing else, I think JSN is destined to have like a career game. He's got Aquarius, Sun, and Mercury, the Pisces stuff, the Gemini stuff. I think it's his. I think he's going to have the game. I also think Stephon Diggs is going to have a really good game. Ramondre Stevenson. I think Sam Darnold is going to be great. And then I just think all those like defensive guys on the Seahawks, they're going to have a great game. So that being said, I do believe the Seahawks win. I do believe they cover the spread. Could the game be close? Yes. Could the game go to overtime? 100%. That's what happens when two fixed signs, or a lot of fixed signs, are in the sky, because fixed trait, Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, the fixed trait signs, they don't give up until it's over. And even what I'm trying to say is like, this is when we see comebacks. This is, I think of the Patriots coming back 28-3 against the Falcons. I don't know what the moon was that day, but under Aquarius Sun, that's what that means. Like, the game is not over till it's over. So could we see a close game? Yes. Could the Pats cover the spread and lose by a field goal? They could. I mean, I just personally don't see that happening. I think the Seahawks win. I think they cover the spread. I think JSN wins MVP. And I think I just think the Seahawks defense really, really holds the Patriots at bay. So there's my predictions. That's the show. Hopefully we get something here. But yeah, so, again, take all this with a grain of salt. This is my first time really doing team sports, a team sports episode. So if we have good success, maybe we'll do more in the future. One day, if I actually make this my full-time job, maybe I'll do daily episodes for every sport and kind of go on a limb. But we're a long way from that. So until then, thank you for listening. This is the Stars and Pars podcast with your host, Evan Engel. I hope we all hit some winners and enjoy the Super Bowl. Okay. And also, we're gonna hit some golf winners this weekend. We're looking good so far. All right. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a good weekend. Happy Super Bowl. See ya.